Hello everyone, and it's Percival again here, asking what the fuck Fer.al went. Oh my fucking god. I'm going to fucking drink all this fucking alcohol myself if I have to. Jesus fucking Christ. I am just shitting here and asking myself what the fuck went wrong with Fer.al. I'm literally shitting. Do not ask. Can you tell that I'm constipated? Oh my god. Oh motherfucker, my leg. Fuck. Ow, fuck. Okay, anyways, I'm gonna read this fucking document that was made by fucking Indigo. Fuck, my leg. Fuck. Fuck. Oh my god. This is gonna be an entire fucking video of me complaining about my fucking leg because it's decided to give me pins and fucking needles. Fuck. Anyways, for some background on this, closed beta was from December 17th, 2019 to May 20th, 2020. Also, if you make fun of my fucking voice, I will kill you. I will put fucking bugs inside your bed. I'll put so many fucking bugs inside your bed. We have a big fucking spider out in the fucking hallway, and I'll put that in your bed as well. Do not fucking mock my fucking voice. I don't like talking much. Anyways, communication was a lot more frequent during the closed beta. There was Google Forms linked to both feedback and bug reports. Many users in this time period were sure their feedback would actually be seen and bug reports would be attended to. Staff were active and that actually talked about some bugs that had been reported during this time, and relatively minor update logs were given each update during this time. It wasn't a lot, but it was better than nothing. However, there was a severe lack of any of these announcements within the game itself, and anyone who did not use Discord or might not have been able to use Discord at the time would be essentially out of the loop. Examples of these logs can be seen here. Of course, it's in fucking Discord. And these were given by Wildworks admin. Obviously, I can't exactly show the images because they're embedded. On March 19th, 2020, the Known Bugs channel was created. This channel was to collect and condense an easily readable and available list of bugs for players to reference, and these were collected and curated by server moderators. A few bugs may have been mentioned by Wildworks, such as in notes of updates or general server issues, but aside from that, most of the bugs listed were collected by the moderators. The channel has since been archived and a new one was planned to be put in place, but it never got put up. During this time, many admins and staff were actually in the chat, attending to bugs or feedback. The feedback channel was actually read, staff collected and got more information on bugs throughout the bug channels. It was stated that feedback was better seen through the Google forums, but Discord was still actually checked. On the 14th of April, the first paid item in the game, the dragon, was announced on Discord. It had a mixed reception because people both liked having more animals to choose from or did not like the paid content included before the closed beta even ended and it went into Fer.al early access. On the 19th of May 2020, just before the end of the closed beta, the community got Kit Sendragon, the former community manager. She often collected and consolidated feedback to relay back to the team that was actually working on the game. Early access, which has been going since May 20th, 2020, is still ongoing. Its Sendragon was actually incredible in keeping up with the community and feedback and bridging communication between Wildworks and the community. Requests to put feedback in feedback channels was still a thing at this time and was going strong. On June 26, 2020, a survey was emailed out to a few Fer.al players asking for their thoughts on potential future features. One of these questions was on players' familiarity with battle passes. Additionally, another question asked about players' interest in potential features. Obviously, this is a mobile screenshot of the Survey Monkey site that they've used, and it asks, how familiar are you with games that have seasons and battle passes? I can't quite see the stuff on here, but there is something about player-created content, a magic system, combat, social features, leaderboards, pets, accomplishments, social media connectivity, lore and story, and new lands. Now, the thing with both Fer.al and Cinder is player-created content. Cinder is planned to feature player-created content in some form, otherwise known as UGC, user-generated content. Fer.al never got that. On June 30th, 2020, the first season pass was actually released. It had very mixed reactions from people who saw it as just another cash grab, to way for the team to make money, and in between. Concerns were brought up about it on all sides. Due to the archival of the first bug discussion channel, most of these links in the first 3 to 4 season passes will not work. As such, screenshots are provided. This was in build 0.5.21278, golly gee, I sure do love fucking stuttering and stumbling over all my fucking words while my synthesis failed to work correctly. It sure is fun! Anyways, during the time that build was available to download and such, the season pass was actually introduced. And the first pass was actually extremely difficult. It took many players upwards of 30 hours to complete. Unless you're someone that I knew that managed to speedrun the fucking pass. The first pass set the bar for passes, and a very low bar at that. Many players were already put off this, saying the game was becoming pay to win. Challenges included were also ridiculously hard, and many players did not want to pay for a season pass because they knew they wouldn't be able to complete it. The most difficult challenges of which are included here: obtain a kimono bow and obtain a kimono cape, both of which only had a chance at dropping after level 100 of Dizzy Wing Dispatch, which is difficult and time consuming to get to, and oftentimes you will fail soon after, which leads to complete restart of the game. Many players who offered to lend these items out actually ended up getting their items stolen. There was a challenge requiring 100,000 points and 200,000 points in Dizzy Wing Dispatch, as well as 5,000 points, 7,000 points, and 10k points for What the Hex. These were not they didn't accumulate at first. They had to switch it to the cumulative. It was mentioned that players who had completed these challenges before they were cumulative. Oh, for fuck's sake. Honestly. Before they were changed over would be compensated, but this never happened. Challenges requiring players to earn up to 50,000 likes existed as well, further increasing the amount of grinding players had to do, usually using level 101 of fucking Do or Die. Yeah, that's the game. There was a challenge that required players to complete 1 or 2 quests in land when daily quests did not exist, thus requiring them to wait out completion of the pass, or for the rotation to actually occur. During the pass, rotations where places in the land would become available or unavailable were still a thing, and further locked the players out of completing the pass until at least 9 days had passed. Nearing the end of the pass, an announcement came on August 8th of 2020 that the whole land would be opening it up to prevent this sort of thing from happening. In line with almost every single season pass, this one was also extended, however only for 1 day. One of the first legitimately dangerous bugs in the game, the rare royal worm glitch, was seen in game on 17th of August 2020 with the release of this item. It was fixed within a few hours, but there's a concern made available about the lack of warnings in-game to alert photosensitive players that this may happen. The second pass was released on September 1st of 2020. This pass was notably quite a bit easier. A list of challenges can be found at link, which I'll provide the link to a Google document in the fucking description, don't worry. Anyways, a list of challenges can be found at a specific link for this pass. This was during build 0.7.8 320. The creature released in this pass was Werewolf. Notable issues with Werewolf include severely pixelated decals, inability to decal the wings, or apply decals to the wings, and the avatar clipping through the floor due to it being tilted down. None of these issues have actually been fixed. At the beginning of the pass, challengers were experiencing slowdowns. This lasted only a bit and seemed to sort itself out. I actually remember experiencing that. Some points were made about the amount of challenges requiring Eurekas, which are rare items that you get when crafting another item, for example, being far too high. For a lot of players, they do not have the materials to grind for these. The obtained 25,000 and 50,000 like challenges were also included in the pass, and while more minor than the rest of the issues, many players were dissatisfied with the tier 100 item, which was the Ice Mantle. Players did not see it worth it to complete over 100 challenges just to obtain the Ice Mantle, and though it was noted by Kit, nothing actually happened. The tier 62 item Skeleton Tree was added as a gold chest item on September. Oh, for fuck's sake. Sure do love stuttering. Yeah, it totally doesn't make me look like a fucking moron. Golly. Anyways, this occurred on September 27th, 2020. The Skeleton Tree item, which was the 62nd tier of the pass, was added as a gold chest item within the Blood Tundra rotation. It was corrected the next day, being replaced with a Bone Zone, but the Skeleton Tree remained in everyone's inventory despite it being a paid item. The Eerie Necklace, an item in this pass, has been incorrectly re-released in non-paid areas of the game twice, and the Cake Hat has been re-released in a non-paid area at least once. Both items were released into leveling on the 18th of February 2021, which was corrected shortly after. Later on, the Eerie Necklace was re-released in the shops on the 8th of September 2021. This did not get corrected until the 8th of October 2021 during the next update. A feature many players had wanted in-game was released on October the 1st, 2020, but came with more issues and fixes. This feature, not issue, was leveling. And this got introduced in build 0.8.10, or is it 70? I think it's 10. 0.8.10341. And one of the very first things that happened was that players would start exploiting mass unbinding of dice to gain experience very quickly. Some players had gotten wings in mere minutes after release. The game was shut down for a little while, and the levels of players were set to 9 if they were over 9. XP from unbinding was taken out of the game, and it was stated that it was supposed to be returned to the game, but over a year later it is still not, and no word was ever provided on it. Level caps were also implemented, with the first one being set to 24. After the weekend, the level cap was raised to 34. This was not announced until the 8th. Players were already realising the difficulty of levelling up. Oh, fuck me. Levelling up. God! It took hours to get levels for normal players, even at low levels. One player did some calculations early on and got about 100 hours, and this ended up being very under the actual times, especially with the method they used. Levels needed more and more XP until it caps off at 15,000 XP per level at level 72. There's a chart included here. At this point, levels took hours of repetitive and boring grinding to get through in a few hours, and there was no gameplay worth more than 900 XP per day. The fastest consistent method was Do or Die level 101, which gave about 13 XP per around 3 to 10 seconds each time you completed the level. Some of the best players barely got by with 2 hours for a level doing the same thing over and over about 1,000 times for one level. Doing basic calculations gives us the need to complete this level 63,633 times. This would take about 159 hours and likely far more when you account for human error. This was not only incredibly unfeasible for a lot of players, but could cause harm and impossible worst case scenario carpal tunnel or tendonitis. Carpal tunnel can be treated with a surgery, but it's not exactly in the ballpark for kids, you know? They don't really have any money of their own. Again, both carpal tunnel and tendonitis can be caused by doing these repetitive actions, among other issues. I believe they're both considered a repetitive strain injury. So basically, doing this for 12 hours per day at best will give you a fucking repetitive strain injury, otherwise known as an RSI. Many players emphasise the level balance of sorts, or increasing the amount of XP from regular things, alongside other solutions that would help players level easier and prevent reinforcing unhealthy grinding habits. But we never got any word on any sort of balance or help from this in the year it has been in game for. Leveling may not be meant to be quick or easy, but repetitive and unengaging tasks being the only way to make any progress within the system is not good. Upon the random re-release of many old closed beta items in October 2020, much of the trading community was understandably very pissed at this decision. While Wildworks cannot be expected to know every bit of trading intricacy, more care taken into asking players would have helped prevent this sort of thing from happening. A compromise was made between these players and Wildworks, closed beta tags that would mark any items obtained before May 20th, 2020 as beta. They were announced on November 13th, 2020 within the official Discord. And on the 1st of January 2021, they announced that they were coming together as planned this year. No ETA was even given and no further updates were given on that. The closed beta tags were finally released on October 8th of 2021, almost a year from the initial announcement and 10 months from the last update on the announcement. Many players were uncertain if it would ever make it into the game because of the lack of communication. Notable for a trend of vague details and no patch logs whatsoever, this feature was not included in the announcement for the update it was included in. Several items were noted to be recolors, retextures, or retextures. Textures kill me. Several items were noted to be recolors or retextures of free items. A video comparing the models can be found here. Obviously, this links to a YouTube video. Sometime nearing the end of the pass, season pass challenges started to utterly break. Starting with talk challenges early on, likely sooner, but the first I could mention of this I could find was October 28th, 2020. These were never fixed. Nearing close to the end of the pass, more and more challenges started. Nearing closer to the end of the pass, more and more challenges started to break, leading to the pass being extended for about 5 days, and 4 days from the announcement. Another very strange bug on this day, the servers had gone down as the SSL certificate was misconfigured and gave a warning upon visiting the Fer.al webpage. This was resolved rather quickly. Apparently, the security certificate for the Fer.al website was from Animal Jam. Oh my god. Season Pass 3 was then released on November 5th, 2020. It had its own list of issues. Unfortunately, there is no list of challenges that could be recovered from this time period. One of the first things that happened was serious lag. The servers had to be shut down for around an hour due to the wear of one item from an item set, causing a very large issue. These challenges were disabled for the day and were fixed the next day. During this update, many players complained about severe frame rate issues it brought. Even with a powerful computer set up myself, I was still stuttering quite a bit, getting well below 60 frames per second often. Indigo uses an i7 7700K processor, 16 gigabytes of RAM, and a GTX 1080. They should not be getting severe lag issues. The keyring was also released during this pass, though it didn't take long for players to realise that it was not the dragon horse deer from mythology, instead having more resemblance to unicorn. Even before the release of the pass, people were expecting it to be more dragon-like, as an actual keyring is. Below is a comparison of a Fer.al keyring, which is on the left, and a traditional keyring on the right. As a fun fact, keyrings were originally released without wing mods available, and one of the leg mods did not have a name. This got fixed quicker than most bugs. The Tier 100 item, Brody's old headband, also received negative feedback as people didn't feel like it was meant for that tier, much like the ice mantle, and that Brody seemed to get a bit too much attention. Various XP and aura point challenges had delays during the midst of this pass, but most were short in duration, only lasting a few hours and not causing much of a disruption in completion of the season pass. Nearing the end of the pass, players have been having issues logging in and doing the actual challenges when the servers were up, which had been going on for days at a time. There was no extension of this pass. On December 22nd, 2020, a new feedback system was dropped on us. It was supposed to help Wildhawks better gauge their player base's wants and exactly how many people wanted something. The portal broke pretty early on, showing a handful of results. This was confirmed to be on Shipwright's end with an announcement, but this eventually got fixed. Most of these suggest my mouth is not fucking working properly. Golly gee, I surely enough found a fucking body that refuses to fucking. Most of these suggestions have yet to be seen in game, with only a fraction of them ever being implemented or commented on. After only a few months, the Shipwright portal seemed to have been unattended to. The latest items posted on it were on December 30th, 2020. The description from oh fuck's sake. The description for the feedback channel, which was once checked and has pins stating that feedback was being reviewed as late as the 4th of June 2021, is now see pins for how to submit official feedback. This channel is for player-to-player discussion of game features and place to poll your fellow players on in-game topics. There's no way to officially report feedback to a place that is actively updated and checked, as the only pin relates back to the feedback system, which has not been maintained. Season Pass 4 was released on the 12th of January 2021. The Shinigami was a creature released in this pass. Notable issues include improper decal mirroring, lack of level 101 wings mods, wing sizing not working, the Shinigami's leg twitching, and issues with wings deforming in decal mode. Wing sizing was fixed somewhat quickly, but leg twitching was not fixed until much later. The AFK board released this pass as the Tier 100 item, a way to let other players know your AFK had been wanted in the community before, and many players were not happy this feature was paywalled and would never be available again, and rather inconvenient, especially due to the AFK timer being about 5 to 10 minutes. Apparently it's randomised between those two time slots. On the 2nd of March 2021, server helpers were introduced to the server with the goal of helping collect feedback for fucking stuttering. Again. Golly gee. Server helpers were introduced to the official server with the goal of helping collect feedback for Wildworks to read over. Many documents, most of the documents have been included in this document over here, were proposed to Wildworks along with ideas tossed in from the server channels, but little ever came of any of this. Eventually, Wildworks communication started to slow to a crawl. Things were not getting done, feedback related to Wildworks wasn't even getting through, until Wildworks just decided to pull the plug on all the activity altogether. Devs might not have been online for days at a time, only popping in for a bit to make sure nothing needed attending regarding the official Discord server, if even that. Season Pass 5 was released on 22nd of March 2021. The Season Pass itself was not too much of note. Issues in completion were normal at points, of bugs preventing or hindering completion of the pass was standard. This is not something that should be the usual for a fucking game, reliant on seasonal content. New things that were bundled into the Astral shop also came at this time. One of the only player suggestions to ever make it in game was bundled with this. There was 013.3458 Phoenixes, Rose Cottage, Sanctuary, Jackalope mods, Tier 100 reward, Twinkle translation patch. Yeah. There were only around 6 challenges up on release, only 5 are listed here. 6 challenges upon release, of which only 5 are listed here, of the pass were unable to be completed due to the items required for them leaving a week prior. This got caused by about 6 missing dies, and then got fixed the next day. The Twinkle translation patch referenced in this was a long requested update to Twinkles and the items surrounding them. Previously, they were treated very cruelly and with little respect. They seemed to be an attempt at slapstick humour, but the wrong tone and the overall portrayal of Twinkles as childlike makes it very uncomfortable. There's a short summary linked here of the issue, with images of some of the items. Twinkles were also given names in dialogue to give them better individuality and characterization. And this got reversed during the last Season Pass update on the 8th of October 2021. Jackalope was put in the shop alongside some body mods for it. 2 ear mods have been swapped, causing many players to buy the incorrect version. Compensation was given. The Phoenix was the avatar released during this time. Notable issues include multiple photosensitivity and epilepsy issues, decals being misplaced, and backwards eyes. On the same day that the particular pass that released the Phoenix was released, it was noticed that a combination of a Phoenix, at sizes smaller than regular, wearing mage pauldrons, would cause the screen to flash very badly. Obviously, that's a fucking huge epilepsy risk. And it got patched on April 21st, 2021, leaving about a month of time for the bug to be exploited to harm others in-game. Wildworks stated they would take action on any users who used this glitch to harm other players. That was announced on April 12th, 2021, after a lot of harm had already been caused and the issues went unfixed. During this time, there were still no photosensitivity warnings in-game whatsoever. And there was yet another fucking photosensitivity risk. When the wire's head was equipped, the wings would flap very fast, which could cause migraines and seizures. Totally inaccessible game, Wildworks. Golly gee. And again, they stated they would take any action on users who intended to use this to harm other players in same April 12th, 2021 announcement after harm had already had plenty of time to be done. Since this and the previous issue overlapped, no photosensitivity warnings in-game either. The Whitehead movement issue was acknowledged on the 26th of March 2021 with the promise that it would be available within the next week. When it was not available next week, many players asked about it. Nothing was said until the 12th of April 2021, when they finally addressed why they cannot just jump into it. Nearing the end of the pass as usual, issues started to pop up, as well as new content they were polishing that still needed time, leading to a 23-day extension of the season pass on the 4th of May 2021. These new features would turn out to be absolute shit. Season Pass 6 was released on the 27th of May 2021. The pass was notoriously buggy, more so than some of the previous passes, and it ended up heavily hindering completion of the pass itself. It didn't get extended despite being the pass that needed it the most, or was promised to be extended. Included with its update were some features that the community was very much against, such as the decal paywall, the voice chat, and the sky jellies. Though the last one was not immediately hated, and it only became hated when it started actually bugging out. This update should cover a lot of players who were previously willing to pay for things in the game. People did not like not knowing where their money was going to go. Wildfox decided to keep making decisions out of the blue that were often bad. This caused a boycott bigger than ever had been seen before. This was just one straw in a long list of previous issues that some players decided was the last. I was actually on a hiatus from the game during this time. Voice chat may have made its way into tons of games, but it's not safe. It lacks so many moderation tools such as filters and often cannot be recorded, especially due to privacy reasons. Even if it is recorded, it takes much more time to pass through voice rather than text, especially when you consider auditory processing. It takes longer than visual processing. Or at least that's as far as I know. I'm not a fucking scientist or anything. I'm not a fucking neuroscientist. I just do computers. Players could potentially convince someone to join the voice chat and do God knows fucking what. Potentially grooming. Potentially just fucking swearing at people. Threats. It's a serious safety concern to a lot of players, understandably so. Nothing official was ever said on this. Sky jellies were also released in this update, and at first most players barely even noticed them. These were required for the season passes as well now, which meant to complete season passes you would either have to hit level 42, lots of grinding, or pay for a Phoenix avatar. This further reduced the number of paying players, as not everyone would be able to even collect sky jellies. And that's assuming they actually worked, which they very often did not. When people did start interacting with them, it was shortly noticed that they were server-side instead of client-side like all the other resources. Alongside this, items from the shop that used the ingredients collected from the sky jellies were very, very costly. I've actually witnessed this before, and I've witnessed the fucking sky jelly bug. The sky jelly is not fucking working. They just don't seem to work properly. They have been broken since day one, and as the servers are on for longer and longer, they break more and more, until all the sky jellies are. You can't collect any of the sky jellies. This has never been fixed, and no word has been provided on a fix for them. Keep in mind that server restarts are basically a temporary fix for these. It's Band-Aid. Well, recently, items in the shop that use the sky jelly ingredients have had Eurekas attached to them. Eurekas are items that you may get as a bonus when crafting items, and it has been speculated that the chance is around 10%. They may be higher or lower. Either way, it further reinforces the severe and unhealthy grinding that many players need to do to even obtain one of these things. The decal paywall was also introduced during this as well. It prevented players who made their accounts after this update from using the decal and sighting features until they paid for a season pass. 900 star fragments at that time. 1,000 star fragments was about 11 United States dollars. Many users saw taking away something players had already had for over a year as unfair, It also raised the point that at the moment the extensive customization system is really the only thing Fer.al actually has going for it now. Without that, there was absolutely nothing to do in game. Leveling consists of repetitive and unengaging tasks, which is just really do or die over and over and over again, which fries your fucking brain. Or you just go to a resource hotspot in the fucking Blood Tundra, Lake Valley, or Magmai Marsh, and you harvest all the resources there. The quest system was also repetitive and unengaging, with no real lore being given during most of these quests, and it boiled down to mainly fetch quests. Decal payable was eventually reverted on July 30th, 2021, which is about 2 months later. Some challenges included Eureka's of Enigmas. Enigmas, already tough to find, as there are over 82,000 possible. I'm going to call this mystery because I don't want to fuck up. Mystery combinations, with zero hints or word on what they could possibly be. One of these, a rare garden hose, was never found due to this. Those without access to the Discord might not have been able to complete any of the mystery Enigma. God. Eureka Enigma challenges. Season 6, nearing the end, had horrific bugs preventing completion of the pass. The servers became unstable with serious XP and aura point delays, and even just went down in some cases. About twice the servers had to be restarted due to server maintenance, first on the 18th of June 2021 and second on the 29th of July 2021. Sky jellies were uncollectible after a week of the servers being up, and due to the heavy inclusion of collection tasks, oh, kill me. The pass could not be completed even if the servers were otherwise running fine. An extension of the pass was promised on the 15th of July 2021, but this was never delivered. 500 star fragment compensation was given for everybody who bought the season pass but was unable to complete it due to the lack of extension. Some concern was brought up on the fact that the previous pass was 1,000 star fragments and they were only getting 500 back. On July 30th, a rather large announcement was released. Of course, this links to the start of it, and it spans multiple messages. This stated they would step back for the time, complete season passes, and get things together for the player base. Season Pass free releases. Website FAQ still states that items are exclusive to the Season Pass timeframe they were available in and will not be available ever again. Season Passes got re-released, which meant that the items were available again for a second go-around. Development came to a halt as well. No communication about the apparent reworking of the game was happening, and it seemed like nothing was getting done. Nothing of note was added to the game after this other than Season Pass repeats. Season Pass 7, which is really just Season Pass 1 with extra rewards. This was released on July 30th, 2021. Some players had issues with past content returning for breaking the promise of these items being exclusive, and with them being mostly the same content. There wasn't really any reason to purchase new passes. More items were put in the Astral Shop, likely to offset this a bit. No mid-season update, servers became unstable, and nothing got done to fix this. Shinigami mods incorrectly labelled, and that was the second time items were incorrectly labelled in the Astral Shop. Talk 2 challenges broke from start. This got fixed within a few days. And no mid-season pass update, or rather removal of the mid-season pass update, was announced on the 2nd of September 2021. A lot of things relied on this to be able to have some stability, from the XP and challenges to Sky Shellies, and even chat itself. I think there was something involved in the chat completely breaking. You couldn't use the chat properly. I'm not sure if I was one of the people to experience this, since I think I was still on hiatus. Season Pass 8, which was just a repeat of Season Pass 2, Season Pass 9, which is a repeat of Season Pass 3. First released as a copy of the original Season Pass on December 14th, 2021, then removed on December 16th, 2021. 4th of January 2022, update log for mobile devices showed that there was supposed to be a Season Pass released at the time, but there is currently none. No announcement in Fer.al server was given for this, as has happened for every update prior. On November 27th of 2021, an AMA about Cinder happened. While most of it is documented in other sources, a couple messages note that Cinder would likely be used to help Fer.al become self-sustaining. In one of the Cinder AMAs, we were told all funding would go to Cinder. One of the most notable questions is, why is Cinder being developed right now when Fer.al was in such an early state? This was answered with, that's a fair question. The short answer is because we want Fer.al to get to a point where ongoing development is self-sustaining. Right now we invest more in it than we make. That doesn't mean we're abandoning it. It means that the company needs multiple revenue streams to sustain projects like Fer.al that aren't self-sustaining yet. This makes it seem very much like Cinder would help Fer.al develop faster with the revenue generated by Cinder. Fer.al's development has all but stopped since the 8th of October 2021, which is when the last update was. Updates were previously monthly or about every 2 months before this. This game has now gone 4 months without a single update. No new season pass has been released and none are currently up. As of New Year's, 99% of store items have vanished. Players are concerned they have already sunset the game in favour of Cinder. Store items being gone has been fixed in the update that happened on the 4th of January 2022. There was no announcement to even go along with the update. All that changed were the shops got fixed, and there's still no season pass available. During the Cinder AMA, we got question: if Cinder is a success, will we see the money generated go to new or previous projects? Answer: the revenue generated by Cinder will go to develop Cinder and provide utility to NFT owners. Full stop. This further upset many other players, as it now seems as if they are just dropping Fer.al for Cinder. Keep in mind, as of writing this on January 3rd of 2022, it's now 16th of January, the Fer.al community has gotten absolutely zero communication since the 2nd of December 2021, which is over a month of dead silence. On January 15th, 2022, slow mode on channels was silently moved from 5 minutes to 2 minutes. Not a word was given to the server moderators even. Less and less bug fixes were mentioned. In its place just came short, lots of minor bug fixes or something similar. That reminds me of Dreamworld. I'm not sure if you've seen Callum Upton's videos on Dreamworld, but he does do a good job of chronicling the update logs as well. Many players wanted basic patch logs, never met, outside of a few things being mentioned for select updates. Many fixes ended up getting completely left out of the patch notes. And many players thought nothing was getting done because they did not interact with the bugged parts of the game that often. It was usually up to players to point out in chat, hey, I think this feature was fixed, in chat, for people to notice. There's no way to currently submit bug reports or feedback currently that is updated or checked, and there has not been for over a year at this point. There was never any roadmap or plans provided for the game. Players have been asking for one as early as May 23rd, 2020, and just after the release of Open Beta, or rather the early access period, however, have been asking many questions on the content of the game in the future. So many questions went unanswered. Lots of things went wrong during the development of this game, and I swear to God I will fucking make this public if I have to. Many things need to be made public, especially involving the mistreatment of the moderation team on the official Fer.al Discord. The people that moderate the Cinder server get paid, while the Fer.al Discord moderator team were all volunteers. They were not being paid whatsoever. And obviously they had to clean up after fucking Clark Stacy. They had to clean up after Clark Stacy's mess of fucking AMA for his new fucking shitty NFT project that claims will fucking be carbon neutral or something. But we all know that Bitcoin and that shit. We all know that Bitcoin takes up more fucking power than the entire US, possibly. Or it will end up taking up more power than the entire fucking US. The same will hold true for Solana eventually, especially if they go with the blockchain shit. Can't wait to see his fucking claims immediately disproven. Plus, Solana is actually really fucking insecure. I think it's gone down about 3 times within both this year and the last year. Or within a month. I'm not sure. I don't keep up with blockchain shit. I've just been keeping up with this because, it's a game. It's a game that I loved. It's a game that I loved and turned into a fucking massive disappointment. I'm so mad.